discuss anything. So we put the call out online for your questions at home. The wonderful producers behind the scenes selected a few of the best questions. You guys were like a B+ today with your submissions. We've got the best of what was sent in, and let's get to it. Let's get to our first question. Let's see what the people want us to talk about. All right, which current wild card team can make a surprise upset and win in a round number one? Now, the wild card spots technically are still TBD. No one has clinched. Yeah. However, based on how it currently looks, how would you answer this question for this person?
Slam dunk.
What?
Are you going to say the Islanders?
I'm going to say the Islanders. Are you going to say the Islanders? See, that's why I said slam dunk.
Is it because of Sorokin?
Yeah. Good for us for laying the foundation for Jackie to get that in there. Yeah. Good for us.
I appreciate you for that. But
they have had their struggles.
Yep.
They play a pretty connected game even when they are struggling to score. I feel like they've got that kind of solved. I think they're kind of in the throes of getting the Horvat piece integrated. Sorokin, without question. They generate a lot from the back end, and they're just tough to play against. I think they will be a tough first-round matchup. The one countervailing piece, I think, in all that is the top three in the Metro and the Atlantic are all titans. They're all world
powerhouses.
Leaders. They're powerhouses.
Yeah, I'm with you exactly on that, and they'll get Barzal back, which will be big. Right. I think it's going to be Carolina. I got a feeling Carolina's going to be one.
Yeah, and the Isles are going to finish, I think, in that top.
Without Svechnikov, are they going to have the offense? And if you're going to play a team that can stifle you and shut you down, though they're big, they're physical, the Islanders, I think the Islanders is a matchup that I don't know if it'd be the same against the Rangers, but right now, the way I got it kind of pegged, I think they could upset Carolina. I think that would be the
very possible.
Big upset.
I think you make a solid argument about that for sure. All right, let's get to our next question from the folks at home. JB and a bunch of numbers would like to know, is Adrian Kempe the actual most underrated player in the league? I certainly think he is. Hashtag Go Kings Go. What do you think? Underrated?
I can find a more underrated player.
Maybe not most.
A lot of them.
I just did a tape on a more underrated player.
I think Zach Hyman in Edmonton is very underrated. He puts up a lot of points. He's an energy driver.
He gets love though.
And he's
a former Leaf.
But not every Leaf gets former love. Not a lot of people knew who Zach Hyman was when he was on the Leafs. Not everybody follows the Leafs like you do, Jackie.
Goodness gracious!
I'm saying.
First of all, we had
36
Zach Hyman on this year. Anyways, let's talk about Adrian.
I'm a huge Adrian Kempe fan, and he is coming into the player that I think everybody thought he would be when he was about 18, 20 years old. He's always been that big guy who has a rocket of a shot, and it just took him a little while to start finding the back of the net consistently. But
big, rangy, fast, hard to play against, sturdy on the puck, and all kinds of finish. I think you make a great point. I continue. I did a tape on this guy, Braden Point. 47 goals so far. He'll probably get 50 this year. Nobody talks about Braden Point. But Adrian Kempe, I would agree with you. Strong case also.
Underrated player trophy like that would be pretty cool.
I would counter both of you and say that Adrian Kempe gets nowhere near the attention, certainly, I don't think, of a Braden Point. And I don't think of a Zach Hyman either. But I do think that he deserves more hype. I think Adrian Kempe is a sensational player. You guys mentioned the 36 goals. We showed a bunch of his stats. The one stat that was not on that board that I love, over 100 hits. So I like that he throws the body around too. So I'm into that.
There's a teammate you could put in that category also. Kevin Fiala doesn't get a ton of, didn't get a ton of love out there. But
listen, last week I said Kopitar doesn't get enough love this year.
Fiala has meant as much to that roster, present tense, the way they're built, as anybody on that roster right now.
Underrated is when you look at a roster and you don't think of the guy's name first or second. That's underrated to me, and sometimes third. And that's where Kempe comes in.
That's where Kempe comes in. That's a wonderful definition.
And then you could say, Braden Point. Who do you think of? You got Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, Vasilevsky.
I think we give Braden Point a lot.
No, I do, but that's my underrated kind of criteria to be underrated. And that's where I think Kempe and Hyman fit that category. And also, you have to be able to win with an underrated player, because the best underrated players are guys who are going to help you win. And Adrian Kempe is the player that is going to help the Los Angeles Kings win. LA is not going to be successful if Adrian Kempe And by the end of the playoffs, he won't be underrated because everybody will be seeing him.
I also like.
You need a criteria for this.
I use underhyped all the time, and underrated and underhyped are two very different things. Like underrated is like people don't realize how good this player is.
Right.
I think Adrian Kempe fits that bill. Underhyped, I think, is a better argument for Braden Point, where it's like we know that he's really good, but I don't think we talk about him nearly enough because of, to your point, all the players ahead of him on that team.
Can I make this maybe one final point on
this
question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think JB248899 thought that question was going to get this much attention on national television?
I don't know.
Program? Do you think you thought it would come close? I think we treated it pretty well.
I think we did too.
I think we stuffed it up pretty good.
Listen, if you're watching the show,
that's like JB, Dano, Kane, Gretzky.
What?
JB, Dano, Kane, Gretzky. Don't you do the number thing with players?
Oh, yeah. I see what you're doing.
Someone gives you a numbers or phone number or something. You remember hockey players' numbers. That is like, come on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
24, Dano. 88, Kane.
Doing the
99, Gretzky.
Numbers of the Twitter.
I understand. I was like,
JB,
what?
Dano, Kane, Gretzky.
Proby, Kane.
There you go.
Proby, Kane,
Proby, Lindros. Proby, Lindros, Gretzky.
There
you go.
Let's
Easy way to remember numbers, Jackie.
Get to our next question. All right, Stu and Dave, what is the funniest chirp you have ever heard during a game? Jackie, if you heard one, chime in. I will leave the floor to you. Maybe, I know chirps are sacred, and you're not really sure a lot of them off the ice, but a good interaction from your time on the ice.
So, Paul Coffey is one of the wittiest, one of the funniest guys I've ever played with or against. I'm in Anaheim before I get traded to Detroit, and I was going to get traded to Detroit about 2 weeks after this happened. Detroit's in Anaheim. We're playing battle for the puck right in the referee circle, kind of neutral ice. So Paul Coffey's in there. He's battling for the puck. In comes Stu. Elbows, mitts, gloves, everything, snot flying all over the place. I'm going to come in and I'm going to win this puck battle. I come barreling in. Probably caught Paul with an elbow to the chops as I'm coming in. Without a word of a lie, he backs away from the pile after I arrive, and he goes, if you want to win it that in bad, go ahead and take it. I mean, I'm like standing there. The puck is mine all of a sudden. But it was just such a lighthearted, dry moment. Like, there are a few moments in my career where you're actually laughing while you're on the ice and the clock is running. I'm laughing as I'm listening to Paul Coffey say, if you want it that bad, it's all yours.
That's nice. That's nice.
Here you go.
That's good. Well, mine. I don't have a good memory for that type of thing, but I do remember one with Stu here.
Okay.
So we're playing in Anaheim, and we'd been in Anaheim a couple days. So when you're out west, you hit the beach.
What the Westerners do.
Yeah, you do exactly. So we're on the ice. We're on the ice, and I'm on the ice with Stu. I'm on the ice. There's a big scrum in front of our bench, and Stu comes in like Stu does, elbows, gloves, snot flying everywhere, like he says. And he comes in, and he looked over at me, and he looked at, I can't really remember who it was. If I did, I probably wouldn't say his name. He goes, and he's got the grimace on. He's like, I would recommend a higher SPF next time you come to Anaheim.
Somebody had a sunburn.
Oh, they had a sunburn. And I'm sitting there. I knew Stu from the player meetings because Stu was always very vocal. He was a player. He was fantastic on support of the players in the player meetings. So, I knew Stu and his dry sense of humor and stuff like that. And I'm looking, I just had to put my head down like this. And I swear half our bench almost snorted in laughter because we're waiting for Stu to all right, let's go. Enough of this.
The Grim Reaper to come out.
And it was just one of those. I put my head down. I'll never forget it. I was like, "Oh, that's priceless. Too much sunburn." And there's Stu. And I'm thinking after it's out. Oh, how many times have you been able to use that one in a game? Because guys would always come in, and one guy would come in. Oh, yeah, I was a little too long around the pool. Too long, just hanging out at the beach and the day off.
How about a little 40 block? How about a little 40 block?
That was one of the ones. It's just priceless. I'll never ever forget that.
So good. All right, let's get to our next question from the folks at home. We get this one a lot, I feel like. If you could make one rule change, what would it be? I'm
taking out the trapezoid. Don't like it. I don't like the trapezoid.
That's it? That's the explanation. I just don't like it. Why don't you like it?
I like the goaltenders to play the puck. I think it's a really interesting aspect of the game. And I'll tell you, when you let a goaltender go, we live in a world of, hey, let's create a little more offense if we can. When you let a goaltender wander anywhere he wants to out there, and he doesn't have a clear idea in his mind when he goes out there of what he's going to do with the puck, it's chaos, and it leads to goals against in that zone. Let the goaltenders play the puck. Some of them are really good at it.
This is true. Some of them are also really bad at it.
Some of them,
Yeah.
Some of them
But,
don't.
hey,
Some of them don't think it that well.
I live for that entertainment, though. Anyways,
It's hilarious.
I don't think. I mean, I like the way the rules in the game are. I love the speed of the game, and I've talked about that many times. Trapezoid. I think that's, to me, that's the most obvious and probably the first one I would say. Get rid of this. Goaltenders, and I played on teams. Goaltenders weren't that good at handling the puck, and we used to have a plan. When with Patrick in Colorado, and this is why I get rid of the trapezoid. Patrick loved to throw the puck up our left wing, and the Devils knew it, and the playoffs teams knew it. It was like, fine, dump it in, let him throw it up there, go get it. You're going to throw up the left side, and let their guy go in and think he's going to get the puck, and hammer him, and get it out. So, and I think goaltenders, there are more goaltenders who don't play the puck well, and it makes it much more interesting. Yeah. Much more interesting. 100%. The one rule, I love that. The one rule that the more I've thought about this, the one rule that I would probably put in is if the goaltender is out of his crease, and he initiates contact, that should be an automatic penalty. Goaltenders coming out of the crease, initiating picks. Picks in front of the net, initiating contact.
I'm with you.
It's like, you know what, I'm all for protecting the goaltender, but as soon as you get out of the crease behind the net, they're going to, I'll just stand over here. It should be an automatic penalty.
I agree with you. Right now, the way the rule is structured, they're kind of exploiting an aspect of the game, which is, and it's not so much an actual rule. It's more an understood, you don't hit a goaltender even when he's out playing the puck.
Right.
But they're exploiting that because they know they're off limits, and they kind of, we've seen Bennington do this a bunch this year already. He kind of gets in the space. Oh, I'm accidentally in your way.
Yeah, but if I can't hit you, you shouldn't be allowed to hit me. It should be an automatic penalty.
Exploiting a gap in
I
the
have
rules.
one.
Let's hear it. I'd love to hear yours.
Take fighting out of hockey. I'm kidding. I'm joking. No, it has.
They're going to do it in the queue.
Dead silent. Dead silent.
They're doing it in the Quebec in the queue.
I know, and I hate it.
They're voting on it.
I'm just